All right, what's up, Tesla nerds? Haven't been messing with this thing in a while because I was waiting on my tire mounting and balancing thingy. Mounter and balancer, I guess you'd say. Yeah, I guess that Hunter lube is really good. Comes right off. It comes off of just water, or they say it turns into a powder. Looks like that's true. Anyway, got the Tesla somewhat set up. I'm waiting on, I got a little poke in the rear with the 20 millimeter spacers. So I got some 15s coming for the rear. That's P&S Brake Buster in the foam cannon if you are Tesla nerds and just showing up here for the first time. So to remind you, on this car, I bought Model S Plaid, and I'm such a freaking idiot. And then I submitted, I was going to trade this in, and then the trade was crap. It was 49 grand. I'm like, well, aren't used cars worth like a freaking at or near MSRP? I mean, I wasn't asking for that, but because I got to make some money. But it was like 49 grand for this. It has like 3,000 miles on it. And so I'm like, screw that, not doing that. Plus, I'm like, to spend 150 grand on a 145 grand on a car that I just bought just to kind of experience. Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't stomach that. So I bailed on the Model S. Now, freaking Model S's are selling for 30K over, like, because people want them right this minute. I'm such an idiot. I could have bought the thing, driven around, gotten the experience I wanted to get, and then sold it. And I didn't do that. I didn't realize that until after I canceled the order, and I didn't want to chase it back down. But I'd gotten a VIN. It was coming like in a week. And then when it's come time to pay 150 grand for a freaking Tesla, I'm like, ugh, I thought about all the cars I could have for that. I could have a NSX for a few bucks more. I'm like, ugh, I can't do it. Can't do it. So old Brake Buster. Let's see if this thing's still kicking. Brake Buster's really hard on bottles, man. It's like the one thing that is destroying any bottle, anything I put it in. Explain to me this concept of how do you get to the point where you buy a tricycle? Like, you just say, look, I'm not good on a motorcycle, but I want the wind in my hair. I just couldn't imagine. You've got to have some real, I don't know, lack of self-awareness, or you just don't give a flip. All these dorks driving around their tricycles. You know, Harley's bad enough. Or some knockoff Harley. Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I like that. I almost did that. People do this to me all the time. I almost insulted and then said, but do what you want. That's such bullcrap. Stop doing that. I gotta stop doing that too. It's like, you suck, you suck, you suck. But you're okay. Do what you want. And so you're all of a sudden a nice guy when you disclaim it like that. Yeah, don't do that. I'm gonna stop doing that too. So you can see the Model 3. You know, I see Model 3s all the time, and I'm so unimpressed by how they look. And then I see just these simple, subtle differences. Putting those little canards on the front bumper, doing OE Plus really makes it much less dorky. Again, so I have carbon ceramic in the front, but they haven't made the carbon ceramic rotors for the rear yet. I gotta call Ben and unplug and see if he's made any more improvements or made any more headway. So if you watch the video where I did the mounting and balancing, I couldn't get the front two in road force. I couldn't get it to work. But car drives. I mean, the balance is spot on. I mean, it feels freaking great. Not a shimmy, not a shake. It's freaking perfect. So I'm about 4 weeks out from getting my Vossens back, redone, finished in all black. And they will replace these. I'm going to go for a drive with the GoPros and give you my update, but I think these cars need a lot of camber to feel good, because I have it back at stock camber, -1 front and rear. By the way, you can't see it on camera, but if you watch Wash and Talks out here, there's a slope, and so the car sits a little like this, and so this side always looks like it's up in the air, and the other side always looks like it's squatting too much. So like on the M3, people were commenting about that because of how the car's sitting on this slope. And there's more slope right here than there is over there, if you will. Or there's less slope, but there's more. It's more gradual over there on that side. I'm gonna put my valve stem covers back on. So yeah, if you're unfamiliar, this car has Mountain Pass Performance full sport suspension, so it's a coilover, and then every arm they make, like they call it cyber arms, so upper, lower control arms, all the camber arms, this car is really freaking set up, and it just feels. I don't like that feeling that all-wheel drive, you just have to frickin' hammer the throttle through the turn kind of feeling. It's just foreign to me, where the car will squat and pull you out of the turn. Like, I chicken out on that. I just don't like doing that in an all-wheel drive car. It's just doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm gonna slide off the road. But the way I've set up the suspension, the sport suspension does feel more compliant. Believe it or not, it's more compliant than stock. There's quite a bit of chatter. So we got some noise, a little bit of just like a little creak in the rear, and so it kind of comes with an aftermarket suspension. So and the car's so quiet that it's really pronounced. I haven't denibbed these tires yet either, but there's I don't know, the car just feels like I need like another degree of camber. So I did the street setup they recommend. If I could just have some sort of center cap here, I think these wheels look so much better when there's a little bit of broken up, because there's a plastic little hubcap thingy that goes on here. And yeah, see, there's like a good 3 millimeters of poke on this, and so bringing it in 5 millimeters is really going to make it look better. But it's amazing how much better this car looks, lowered and flush. Where you have flush fender fit, and there's no rubbing or anything on this, so it's a pretty good setup. And then I have Unplugged Performance. I have their. I even did like the front monoballs, on the front. What is it? Trailing arm or lower control arm. There's a bushing there. We did. What else did we do? We did unplugged front and rear sway bars. That who knows? I did it all at once, so who knows what makes the biggest difference. But needless to say, the car handles better than it does stock, but it just still feels unsettled to me. You'll see when I go for a drive with it. Gosh, I love this time of year. It's so nice out here right now. This is the new OG version of the fixed Viper chair. we'll talk about that in this video. But the real helper here in the way that this looks is doing proper tires. Those freaking Pirelli junk were super noisy in comparison to these. That's why they put some goofy foam inside the tires. But the Pirellis are noisier, didn't handle as well. Oh, there's my spot that I messed up and smacked the wheel. And I also made some rubbing here because I didn't do that right. This is the first wheel I balanced. But just going to 245, I think you need to do 255s. So do 15 millimeter spacers, 255 square front and rear. And I think that's the best setup for this thing, stock. And then probably go a little more camber, like maybe 1.5. So you can squeeze your 255. And I think that's the way to go. Oh yeah, this stuff does come right off. This is awesome. Yeah, the lube from Hunter is way better than whatever lubes the tire shop's been using that I've been visiting, frequenting over the years. This just makes it so much nicer sitting out here when it's not so freaking hot. I can just take my time and no rush. The other thing I learned when balancing is I had it set up to where it's choosing to put the wheel weights behind the spokes. And so doing the weights behind the spokes, the system will automatically make it split up the weights. Just learn all kinds of little tricks. You know, just having people comment. Not a lot of intelligent comments. Hey, did you get me some? Gonna eat some breakfast here. What's up, Shelly? You gonna give us an appearance in the video?
Matt, what kind of truck motor do I have?
It's a 3.5 liter V6, twin turbo V6.
Okay, I gotta memorize that. 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo?
Yeah, twin turbo V6.
If I say it, so if someone asks me, just say it like that?
Yeah, it's terrible. It needs to be a twin turbo or supercharged V8 is what it needs to be. Yeah. Someone loves the douche wheels you got. Can't wait to Discount Tires said Four Wheel Parts said the Toyo all-terrains I have on order, no dice. I think I'm gonna just buy some mud terrains or whatever I can get my hands on, and then we'll swap them out later. Yeah, so let's talk about this chair a little bit here. I'm going to help some of you guys out that maybe haven't made it yet, and because you're never going to make it if you have this attitude. So, you know, I put the video up of the chair. We post the stubby for the Ego blower, and it's like $60, and people start freaking out. $60 just a piece of plastic. I can see that yours has chipped and is 3D printed. Well, that's the first prototype. So there's a lot of comments about the cost of this chair and how you could do it with the Craftsman that I used for years, or that Chinese one that Adams and Griot's sources. You get all bent out of shape. It's a $400 chair. So this chair is built to what it needs to be, right? So this is how they do it. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty certain this is how they did it. They made the chair. Gosh, I love this tire loop. Comes right off. Look at that. Right off like nothing. So they say, okay, we want a better chair. And I don't think they didn't know anything about detailing. They were planning on selling to shops and machinists and different places that were, where you're rifling through, the Craftsman chairs, and you're rifling through all this cheap stuff, once a year or so, because you got people using it all day and you're beating it up. And so they said, let's make one for ourselves. And so they made it, and then decided to start selling it, market it. And then, they start building the chairs, and then they figure out how to build them more efficiently. And, they're U.S. guys, so they want to make sure that everything is U.S. made and sourced and all that stuff. And so made in the USA, and which adds another layer of cost. And then they bake the chair, and they're like, okay, it would cost us, let's just say $200. Cost us $200 to make the chair. And then we got to make some money on it, and we'd like to double our money, and so we're going to sell it for $400, in this case. And so what they did, very different than what all of you are used to. You're used to Harbor Freight that says, I want a wrench, and that wrench needs to be 99 cents, and we need to make a big margin on this, and so it's like mattresses have massive margins. We need to make a giant margin, and so it costs them 8 cents to make that 99-cent tool, and that's the business model. So it's built to a price point, whereas something like this, it's either $400 or it doesn't exist, and it's going to be lower volume, especially in the beginning, unless it becomes popular, and then maybe they figure out how to source. They give up the USA thing and start to source some cheaper stuff from China, some different parts, components, get some cheaper casters, which we hope doesn't happen, or they start to cheap out. A good example of that is our beloved Adams. Adams for years has been a, enthusiast-driven, Adam Patali, he's the guy, and enthusiast-driven company. Chemical guys got their start like that as well. And then they eventually, become a real viable corporation, and then the bean counters come in, and then they generally mess it up, and they start selling cheap stuff. Griot's seems to have, is a bit unique in that Griot's has the backing of, significant resources, it seems, and so they've, they never had to, they've transitioned from Richard to his son Nick, and so it's a little different model, in that they haven't had to have a seminal event or a sale of the business. And so you'd hope that quality maintains. So they don't start cheaping out and start trying to find a way to make a chair that's junk. And so now we have this low volume, handmade, American-made and sourced product that's built to what it needs to be, not built to a price point, not built to maximize profit off of you. It's not built to, it's just not what it's made for. It's not made to, so all of you that get all bent out of shape about things that are, that like this, that are niche, high-end, expensive, that target those that $400 doesn't mean as much to at this point, because they've had the modicum of success. And so or you have a business where you're using it all the time, you can justify the expense. But the build to suit, or build to what it needs to be rather than build to a price point, appeals a lot to me. It's a lot of this professional grade stuff. It's built to suit. It's built to what it needs to be. And when that happens, people get so bent out of shape, like we're ripping people off or something. They're not ripping anybody off. They're just making enough profit to make it worthwhile. And whereas the opposite of your built to price is screwing you royally, because they're making huge margins on it. They're making tons and tons of money on something that's garbage, that I don't care if it lasts. Just because something lasts a long time doesn't mean it's any good. Doesn't mean that you should hold on to that as being superior. I mean, a Chinese $20 gun will probably last just as long, and in some cases may last longer than this OG Spec Mosmatic. But I want the OG Spec Mosmatic, and so do most people that have some level of success. And so I'm just telling you, if you're holding on to this and you have this in your, this feeling, or you feel the need to say this is junk, this is stupid, because what everybody does is they say you suck, but you do whatever you want, you do you, it's your money. And no, you can't do that. That disclaiming doesn't work. You can't disparage something, say it sucks, and then say but you do whatever you want. It's like, it's like punch in the face and then pat you on the back after you're knocked out. It doesn't work. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but it's not working. It's not working like you think it's working. Like, I'm a jerk, but I'm a nice guy. No, the jerks outweigh the nice guy. And so if you're holding on to this, it's probably because you're not doing so well. I don't know anybody that is doing really well that doesn't give a crap about a stool for their garage, that would say, I can't believe, unless they're just annoyingly cheap. That's a whole nother group of people that are really odd. I just can't imagine. I don't know anyone that would do that. And most of the people I know don't give a crap about quality stuff. They don't give a crap about anything. But if they make a lot of money, they like taking expensive vacations or something like that, but they don't care about the stuff. They're not going to give a crap about something that's $400 and have that mindset. I'm just telling you, if you have that mindset, I talked about this using property theft things like this. I don't even know the names of something. Let's just say MacShine. It's just a direct theft, and you're supporting it. It's just telling you, it's a microcosm of something you're unaware of and blind to that everybody else can see. That your probability of success is, I just think, because it's a mindset. When you go there, when you're buying a MacShine polisher instead of a Rupes, when you know that Rupes is responsible for the tech, and you know that MacShine just blatantly copied it, and it's just that Rupes can't go after them, because what are they going to get? They're going to chase down in China in their intellectual property. It's a losing battle. So we're going to go up against the Chinese government. That's not going to happen. And so when you're that's your job, that's what you do for a living, and you then you buy this cheap junk. It's a microcosm of what you're going to cut corners in everything, and you don't even know it. So you have to stop that. I'm telling you. If you do, it's not about wasting money. It's not about saving money. It's about your mindset. And if you have that mindset of this chair sucks, I can do the same thing with Harbor Freight. If that were the case, I would just buy the Harbor Freight chair, but I didn't like it. It's not good enough. And then when a company solved my problem, it just makes perfect sense. And then I said, well, shoot, if I'm going to be sitting on this in every video, I should probably sell them, at least get something out of it. Because I don't want sponsorship and free chairs and all that. What I want to make some money off of it, because I'm going to be responsible for a lot of people discovering it. And so then there's another layer of margin on there, which adds a little cost that any logical, reasonable person, anyone with any bit of success understands how that world works, how the world works of things. This car was built to make a profit so they could build more cars. You're hoping, what's so cool about Tesla, what I like about Tesla is it's clearly a passion-driven business. Where like a Chevrolet has become largely a bean counting, just make money business that's so far removed from the original passion that, the vast majority of the people there are doing it because it's their job. And that can happen to every company, long term. It's my argument against it being such big, being a supporter of something like Turtle Wax. They're so far removed from the passion, they don't even know how to use their product properly. And that's why I say oftentimes I understand how it sounds, but it's just reality. Go drive in the parking lot of a Turtle Wax versus go drive in the parking lot of an Adams versus go drive and look in the parking lot of a new up-and-coming, passion-driven business, where the passion is cars. So you're seeing, Adams is probably diluted from where it was originally. In the beginning, it was all a bunch of guys into cars and into the same thing that Adam was into, same thing with chemical guys. As they get bigger, as they become real corporations, the original passion wanes, and they're fighting to keep that passion as much as possible. So, the Tesla parking lot, you would assume right now, the large percentage of the people there have Teslas, and, a good chunk of them. But then, 20 years from now, unless the employees get a deal, there's going to be less and less Tesla subscribership because there's less and less passion. It's just the way the world works. And so, what I'm getting at here, let's keep chatting here while I eat my breakfast. I already ate breakfast, but Michelle said, "You want some Chick-fil-A?" And I'm in a major fat streak right now. So I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So I'm fully aware that you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear this from me. But it's real, it's the truth. I mean, I'm saying what is so. Kind of in limbo land. Trying to figure out what my next path is for looking for a new fitness passion. Not sure what that's going to be. So, anyway, if you don't get what I'm saying, you might want to start, if you're complaining about stuff that shouldn't really matter, I'm as guilty as the next guy. Just stop doing it. You'll be much happier. You'll have a much better chance of succeeding. So, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. You don't need to buy a $400 chair to be successful. What you do need to do is not complain about somebody else buying a $400 chair to be successful. Because if you have that mindset, it's gonna spill into everything. Yeah, the CSL XO on the glass is holding up nicely. I have wolves on the windshield, but CSL XO on the rest of the glass. Lots of bugs this week. So the E36 leaves this week to go get the interior done. And the stereo done. Then we'll start the E46 soon. I don't think the E46 is going to stay. Good news for all of you. I'm going to spend $100,000 on that thing, and I'm going to do a giveaway. So be prepared. So I've been kind of getting the bug. I started looking around for another car. That's probably a stupid idea. So this thing looks pretty darn good. Look at that. That angle looks pretty tough. All right, tough is probably not the right word. You know what I'm saying. New adjustments to the quick disconnect that Rusty made are good. It's quite a bit more pliable. I really like it. You should get one. Or the reference in the chair and this quick disconnect. It's like, I told you exactly what it cost me. And then I'm going to mark it up. Otherwise, we're not going to do it. And then it's expensive because we're only making them like 100 at a time because that's all we can make. Stop thinking it's okay that you don't like it because you can't get it. And I'm telling you, the other thing I'm going to help you out here, because I'm experiencing it. I've been where you're at. Well, maybe not with that mindset, but I've been in a position of aspiring for more. And when you get there, it's different. Like, spending $100 on something isn't the same, doesn't feel the same. You know, Joe Rogan talks about this. It's like there's something to be said about being able to go to a restaurant, order whatever you want, and not have to worry about it. Like if I want to order 10 appetizers, I can just do it and it's not going to affect my life. But I've been there where I'm like, I'm not going to go out to eat. I'd rather save some money and do this or that. And unless you've been there and don't understand that, I think there's a disadvantage there. If you've never been there, you were born into money or got really lucky really early or something like that, that can also be a detriment. But I've experienced both sides. Now, I haven't experienced private jet life, but I'm not going to disparage those that do experience owning a private jet or renting a private jet, because I want to do that someday too. So this is Uncle Matty's talk for you. I don't know what it's like to get on a private jet. Just like I didn't know what it was like to fly first class. Commercial. Well, now I know what it's like. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to fly first class. I don't normally work through all the soap, but because we were doing pressure washer tests, and doing the pressure washer test, I filled up my soap bucket with tons of, or my wash bucket with tons of soap. So I might as well just use the rest of this on the car. So I'm sure I'm going to take some heat for this, this discussion, but from the same people. But I just ask you to think about it. Think about where you're blind. The thing I get blind on is being right, because I'm usually correct, and I have a real strong need to be right all the time, as you can tell. Which, there's some benefits to that. But I'm blind to it often when I'm being that way. And when I'm being that way, oftentimes, it stresses you out. It gets you angry and it's not a good feeling. And so, just think about it. Think about how you're acting, what you're saying. And it's not even about congratulating those that got the $400 stool. It's about you recognizing when you're being activated by somebody else buying the $400 stool. And if you can recognize that and just let it go, it's a really great place to be. Like, I'm not getting activated by, like, your comments, that I'm talking about here. Comments to me have become much more about feedback and much less about me proving you wrong. Because you're all wrong. I usually don't speak unless I'm correct. At least I don't speak definitively unless I'm correct. I'll speak about it and say, look, I'm not sure, disclaim a bit. Say, I'm not sure about this or that. So the drying aid video, let's change the subject. The drying aid video is one of my favorite videos we've ever done. The showing how to use a drying aid. And the guys are making me do this. I'm really uncomfortable with this, but calling it the best drying aid. Dang it, every time gets me. Right on the right leg. I'm like always not paying attention. But forget the title. It is the best drying aid, but what's going on here? It's like the car's locked, I guess. But just it's a foreshadowing of what we're headed towards. I've never liked the color and how our videos have looked, and it's the lighting, it's the OG lighting. And so I'm hoping the new Cree lighting we're going to do next door has a different look to it, even after our color correction. And so that video is a foreshadowing, I think, of what our better produced content is going to look like. And I'm looking for, this is your next opportunity, people. I'm looking for, you don't have to be a video expert. You just have to have a love for cameras and a love for editing and computers. So I'm looking for somebody to come follow me around with the camera, because Michael Waba is up to his eyeballs in editing and content creation. God dang it. Both legs. So if you're ready to come here, key requisites. I'm probably looking for someone young and energetic, but it doesn't have to be. Boy, girl, I don't really care. I'm looking for somebody who doesn't want to be in front of the camera, which is pretty much everybody here. They want to be behind the camera. I'm looking for somebody that's not, the key requisite here, if you're going to be spending a lot of time with me, is not frickin' be annoying. So I want an introvert. I want an introvert who just likes the camera, likes playing with cameras, because you're going to be playing with some of the coolest stuff. We're going to have multiple Reds. I'm going to be shooting in 8K soon. And we won't be publishing in 8K, but we'll be working and editing in 8K likely. We're going to be doing a lot of cinematic type stuff. And so I don't need someone that Michael Waba is going to be doing most of that. But what I'm going to need somebody to assist him in doing the regular channel content. Because if you notice, the channel, I haven't made as many videos because we've been up to our eyeballs and making videos for the website. Since Brad came, we've been really ramping up the inorganics of making sure that we're able to, our descriptions are better, that all the Google necessary searchability stuff is really dialed, and we're creating authentic. What's that? Oh. We're creating a really authentic version of each product, where it's worded in my words, and it's accompanied by great photography, as well as the videos, the short videos. Because a lot of times we would post an hour video on the product page, which isn't really a good thing to do. So I need a not annoying, somebody who loves cameras. You don't even have to know anything about them yet. We'll teach you that. But at least you have the desire, and somebody to come in soon, like tomorrow. So hit me up. Hit Bryce up about coming and joining the team. I think we're at 26, 25 now, something like that. 20 something, I don't know. So we need that. Kyle's about to hire some more people to help him do designs. He said I was done hiring. but apparently I'm not. I also thought that by the end of the year, or the end of next year, we'd probably have double the amount of people we have now. What else is going on? My house is coming together. I met with the architect, started to lay out the framework for what my house is going to look like. We're hopefully going to nail down the lot here in Woodgate. We're going to nail that down here, hopefully in the next week or two. And then we'll get started with pricing out and choosing stuff. And, you know, we're going to have to order now. You know, a lot of things are going to have to get ordered really soon. We're going to have to secure financing. But we're going to move forward. I'm going to postpone Destination OG for now. We've got it's going to be a big project. It's going to be a lot of fun. But my house now, a baby house, god dang it, why is this thing locking on me all of a sudden? I turned that Sentry mode crap on, now it's locking every time. I don't want it locked. My hand's all wet. Stay unlocked. No! What the I don't want to keep my phone in my pocket. The latest software update, I guess, did this to me. Controls. It's annoying as crap. This phone's too big to fit in my pocket. I'm gonna drop it on the ground. I'm gonna murder you, Tesla. All of a sudden, it started doing this. It never did this. I don't lock my cars. You wanna come hang out with me? Come hold the camera, shoot some videos, vlog. You're gonna be running around. Not this 9 to 5 bullcrap. If you'd kill it, next thing you know, you'll be helping me help you get a GT3. Yeah. But it's gonna take some time. This freaking thing I'm gonna kick through the door. Why is it all of a sudden locking every 5 seconds? I can hear you breathing. Yeah. So someday we'll get I'll have a mic boom operator where I don't have this lav mic on me. Then you can not worry about my health. You don't give a crap. Anybody commenting about health doesn't give a crap about me, so shut your freaking mouth. Boy, I hope you're okay. I can hear you breathing. Just keep your freaking mouth shut. Things you don't comment on. Someone's family or what they look like. Shut your face. I don't care how freaking big of a celebrity they are. Just don't do that. Shut your mouth. Because you would never say that in person. All right, open. Stay open. Oh, shoot. That's just shooting water in there. So yeah, this thing sat dormant for quite a while. While I was waiting on the tire machine. I'm glad I chose these. These are some of the hardest tires to do. Wheels and tires. Or as Hunter calls it, rims. I'm gonna have to fix them on that. Stop calling it rims. Oh. You gotta get into the settings and see if there's a way to turn off this freaking automatic lock bull crap. So I submitted my application to get full self-drive mode. But me standing on the brakes and accelerating fast, it's probably not going to go very well. Probably not going to get me approved anytime soon. So my solar panels are in, my power walls are in, transfer switches, all that stuff is set up. They came out to do the permitting, and then they declined the permit. So it didn't pass because there was like a missing red sticker somewhere. The homeowners hasn't said anything, so hopefully we're good there. I think it looks fantastic. We covered it up. I really wish I didn't cover it up. Covered up the power walls.
Go examine his work.
What?
We're gonna go examine your work.
Oh yeah, okay. Hopefully then Seco has to come out and turn the power on. So hopefully the Tesla gets turned on here shortly. I'm ready. I'm ready to run my house at 68 degrees. I want to wear a sweatshirt in the house. I had Kalos get rid of my fresh air damper. That's a big lesson learned. Bringing in fresh air via the dehumidifier is a terrible idea because it doesn't know what to do with all that hot air. And so then my air conditioning can't keep up because the dehumidifier is bringing 100-degree air and then feeding my air handler all that freaking hot air. It's like huffing hot air into the darn system, and it can't keep up. It's terrible. We saw the same thing next door in the Yarn building, which, by the way, I'm going to have to add another, what's it called? Mini split. Because it's not working. I had some goofball company come. They're going to quote me on doing CHI doors. We'll see how that goes. Oh, stubby. So remember, this is not the stubby. This is not the one. This is like a 3D printed, super glued prototype, like handmade prototype. So the production model is going to be quite a bit different. But this is the only one we have to take a photo of. So it's available for pre-order. I don't know if it's going to be here. It's supposed to be November. I'm guessing January. But if you want to lock your spot down, I think we've probably sold 400 or 500 of them already. It's $60. Yes, you have to pay for shipping. Yeah, it's available to pre-order. I mean, imagine. So it probably costs $8 to $10 to ship this, depending on where it's at. And so these cost, $10 or $12 to make. Then, the guy who makes them has a margin. It costs me $30 to buy them, and then I'm selling for 60, so I make $30. Make a 100% return, and which is pretty, actually not all that aggressive. And so if I ate the $10 in shipping, now I'm only making $20. It's freaking stupid. So then what I would do is I would sell it for 70 and offer free shipping. So I just assume that you aren't stupid and that you can handle the fact that, well, we're going to price it at retail. I'm going to make these great videos and show you all this cool stuff, turn you onto it, and then just pay for the $10 in shipping. That's all I'm asking. Can't handle that? Well, I don't know what to tell you. I gotta turn this freaking locking bull crap off. It's driving me nuts. Like, a car doesn't even need a lock. Like, who's breaking into cars? And if they are, just break the window. There's a freaking giant, it's like I could just break the roof. It wouldn't take much. You kick the window, get in 2 seconds. So, I mean, what do you have in your car that someone's gonna steal? Let's see. Locks. Walk away lock. Off. There we go. Unlock on park. Car left open notification. I mean, aren't all you Tesla nerds, aren't you all like anti-gun people anyway? There's nothing in the car to steal. What do you have in there? Just take your wallet with you. I mean, are you gonna have a sidearm in your Tesla? I don't, by the way, but I doubt any other Tesla owners do too. By the way, I don't give a freaking crap about guns, but you certainly, I've got three of them. I don't even know how to use them right, properly, but I do have a concealed carry, but I don't give it. Guns do nothing for me, but you're freaking nuts. You're gonna take them away from people. That's a bad, bad formula. Seems like common sense to me. Because then none of us as law-abiding citizens will have guns and the criminals will. Just a bad move. Seems pretty logical to me. So, what else do we got going on here? We got the pressure washing test series going on. My KWS 700 with a 7.0 nozzle did 3.3 gallons per minute at 1200 psi. It's freaking insane. It's perfect. And it's quite a bit quieter. The 20 millimeter pump is quite a bit quieter than the 18 millimeter pump that my 165 STS was that I had in my wash bay. So we're going to have more output and less noise. It's sort of a winning combo, if you ask me. And for the fun of it, we tested that against the Adams that's copying it. The Adams is pretty junky. The specs, the output was not too bad. but the quality is just a total Chinese knockoff, just junk. Everything about it is just junk. It's pretty quiet, has some decent output, but it's built by God knows people, and I don't know who knows. I mean, people that don't know anything about pressure washing, because that thing is a piece of work. I mean, they ship it with a 2.0 size nozzle. Why would you ship it when it needs a 4.0 nozzle? Hopefully they'll watch the video and change what they're sending with it. Because it's getting like 1.3 gallons a minute at 1600 psi, which is the opposite of what you want for washing a car. You want more flow, less pressure. They know that. I've taught them that. I don't think they. Oh, it's sad. It's my all-time favorite companies, and they're just done. Done with us. Done with us enthusiasts. Worried about frickin' t-shirts and graphene instead of what actually works and is really good. See, I'm excited about doing a house. I'm afraid of the price tag. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't get out of control, and hopefully I don't have to backpedal too much. I'm inclined to take the risk and go big, go expensive, and so I'm not setting a budget. I'm just gonna denote everything we want, everything I could want, and then again back to that model of let's figure out what it costs and then build it. Figure out if I can make it happen. And if I can't, how can I still get that and maybe do it in some stages? Like, what could I hold off on and do a little later down the road with cash instead of, having a giant mortgage? This drying aid is so good. We got our gallons back. I'm sure we're going to run out of it again. I can't wait to get out of this mess of inventory disaster. I do like to do this drying aid in half sections, where Beadmaker would do a full section, but Beadmaker I would spray a lot more product on, and so it wouldn't dry up on me. And so this one I'm using a lot less product. Oh boy. This car is very rock chip susceptible. And a bunch of them now. Repainting the front clip on this car would cost a couple grand. Versus having to look at plastic forever. And the plastic's going to get all rock chipped up too, so on a car like this, I don't give a crap if I repainted the front bumper. I'd much rather not have to deal with PPF. So I'm thinking, what do you think about this? The ditch, sell this car, build but give away the E46. Keep my E36. I think I'm going to keep that. You know what might help the E46 with me? Is if I just do a killer stereo in it. And that way I don't have to hear that god-awful S54. You guys are on crack. It's the worst sounding engine. I had no idea how bad it is. It's the worst sounding car ever. I think I'd rather have the sound of the F80 over the S54. It's just terrible, terrible, terrible sound. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix it. Well, Matt, the rasp is an acquired taste. No, it's not. Not for me. It's never going to happen. So, all the BMW bros are going to love my E46 rants, saying the E36 is way better. And then people are saying, you should do an S54 swap in the E36. What are you, on glue? No way. Why would I take a freaking rasp machine and put it in the car voluntarily? No way. Not to mention, when you do that stuff, the car just is never quite right. If you don't mind a little jank, doing an engine swap generally, unless it's a Honda, generally doesn't work out very well. You always have a little stuff that's off. This thing is looking pretty sharp. I get the Vossens on here. I just don't know that I want to lose the stagger. I'm telling you, getting these 245s in a real tire, a tire that doesn't look so goofy, like Pirelli's just looked terrible. And then it was stretched, it was a 235. It makes a big difference, man. It looks a lot better. And when I get rid of this, it probably looks pretty good on camera, but it's poking out a bit. And I'm a grown-up, so I don't want some freaking tires poking out, and I don't want to run too aggressive of a camber. Although, if I did change the camber on this, it's just such an ordeal to go get an alignment done. I just don't want to do it. So I don't want to change it. I gotta get an alignment rack. Maybe I should just go rent one of those other buildings up the street here and make it my dry ice and alignment place. What do you think? Is it worth? It's probably $1,000 a month to rent in there. And I put an alignment rack in there. Move my mounter and balancers there. Maybe I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll hire somebody to do just high-end alignments. Maybe I should do that. Any of you guys that work at a dealership want to come work for me? And we'll set up where you do just wheel and tire coatings. Shoot, I think I'm going to do this. You do wheel and tire coatings, mounting and balancing wheels and tires, and alignments. I bet you had people come I'm all over to do that. What do you think, Dad? You want to become a wheel and tire mounter?
Let's do it.
Huh?
Let's do it.
I like your attitude, Ted. Do everything. Always yes. Yes to everything. Shoot, I think I just came up with a genius plan, people. I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up there on Monday and see if they have any space. Yeah, and then we'll just move my mounting and balancing equipment up there, do an alignment rack. That employee will be a flex employee, where you can go and we can have you doing other stuff too. We'll start local, and then we can turn it into mounting and balancing. We can ship your wheels and tires. We'll coat them, denib the tires, prep the tires, dress the tires, and then it'll help pay for my equipment. It'll help me learn how to do it better. It'll give us a content source. And then, we'll have some local people come, and it will become the place. You want alignment done, this is a place to come. But you have to submit an application because I'm not frickin' aligning in Nissan Sentras. That would be sick. I think the Hunter rack, I think it's 60 grand. Now we're talking, we're business scheming here. So what would I need? What would I need to make that work? So if I had 100K invested between my machines, let's see, an employee was 35 grand a year, and rent was 12 grand a year. Insurance was another 10. So that's 20 and 35. That's 55 plus benefits, so 60. So 60K a year. So that's 5 grand a month, excluding the cost of the equipment. So we'd have to generate $5,000 a month in revenue. Let's say an alignment. Oh yeah, these numbers aren't going to work. It would have to be, let's say you did two sets of wheels and tires a day. Say you did one. And let's say the coating, road force mounting, balancing, denibbing, like the OG spec package. Let's say that was $750. So $750. If you did one of those a day, $750, and let's say you did that 20 days a week. So what is that? Oh shoot, that pays for it right there. What is that? What is that math? That's so let's just say 700, and we say we did 700 just to make it easier. So that's $14,000 a month in just tires. If you could do one a day, some days you do 2 or 3 sets. So that's $14K a month, and then let's say we charged $350 for an alignment or $500 for an alignment. Let's just say $500. Let's make it, because we don't really want to do it, and so it's $500 to get the car aligned, knowing that we're not going to jack it up. We have the state-of-the-art equipment. We have somebody who's pretty good at doing it. So let's say we aligned. Well, at $500, if you did 20 cars a month, that's another 10 G's. Shoot, this business, that's 25 grand a month and a $5,000 expense. And you could have one person do all that for sure, and then still have some time left over. And then there's room for them to get bonuses and raises and stuff like that. Heck yeah. And all I really have to do is make videos of me having my cars done, and then that'll make people come from all over, because no one knows where to get their tires done. Yeah, what do you think, people? Then we eventually, like I said, we build a shipping service where we're now shipping OG spec wheel and tire setups. Oh, and then we'll start selling tires. So you figure if we were doing, maybe we can make that a requisite that we'd start selling tires or something like that. So let's say $1,000 set of tires. Let's say you make $300 on that. I don't think tires have great margins, but I'm not really sure. So if I just said we were doing 20 sets of wheels and tires a month, then make another, let's just say 200 bucks just to make it easy. There's another 4K, so we're at 30K a month. This could be a cool little. And then what I can also do, since we have the rack there, we could also do some dry ice stuff. No, it would have to be bigger. But yeah, maybe we build a dry ice booth. I need a little bigger facility for that. As long as I don't end up, like I would want to have it where I don't have to have a bunch of like normal blue collar employees. I would want it where this could be a proving grounds for, starting out at Obsessed Garage, and you can graduate from there. But it sounds to me like I could even get someone, pay them 50 or 60 and make this happen quicker. Get somebody qualified already who, wants to do. So send me an email. You want to do this? Let's do it. Let's do it together. So what we'll do is I'll pay you 50, but then we'll have it set up to where we have a bonus structure based on performance. We'd have some loss, and you'd damage some wheels, and we'd have to replace them and things like that. But we could have it set up to where we figure out how to ship this stuff efficiently, and people just ship their stuff to us, direct to us. So when you buy your Volks, or you buy your wheels, your Vossens or HREs, you just have them sent right to me. We get them all set up. By the way, I found the weights that these wheels, the original Tesla wheels had. It's 3M. So I bought that, spent a couple $1,000 on wheel weights. The 3M system. They make them in black and gray. And it's a cut. You cut it so it's a whole little system. So I bought it. I should have it next week sometime. So the next wheels I'll do, I may even pull these off and redo them. Instead of using those weights from Amazon that I got, we're going to use the 3M system. Yeah, I'm liking this business idea here today. But the main purpose is I just want an alignment rack. I'm going to drive up there. We're going to check that out. We'll look on camera. I don't need a lot of room, at least not to start. Those buildings up there are like 1,200 square feet, something like that. And then I'll have the ability to align all my own cars whenever I want. This will be good. I'm telling you, if you're watching this and you want to come work for me, and you want to do this, let's frickin' do it. Shoot, I sprayed the whole car. I'm doing it with that window cracked. This could be a great idea. We'll have Hunter really train us. It will become like a training spot, or we can train other people. People could come in here. We can offer Hunter training. The possibilities are endless. Yeah, I like this. I like where my head is at today. I was getting angry at you for being... See what happens when you think about $400 chairs properly? You come up with ideas, and then you make it happen. That's the key here. I make stuff frickin' happen. I'll just talk about it and pretend. So the money I have in order to be able to do this is a direct result of a mindset, of a endless pursuit. So I'm just going to dress the tires, but I'm going to take these off. And when I get my spacers next week, I'm going to take it off and I'm going to coat these wheels. I should have done it in the first place. I didn't because I thought the Vossens would be on right away. And so I'm going to coat the wheels and prep the tires and denib them and all that stuff. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to slop some tire dressing on. But remember, tire dressing success is about the prep, which I'm not going to do. So it's not going to be very successful. The tire dressing is not going to last and do very well because I'm not going to do the prep necessary And so when you're complaining about tire dressing longevity, it's because you're not putting it on often enough and you're not maintaining it. I did get the CarPro the tire coating, but everybody says it sucks, so I'll probably never even use it. All right, so quick tire dressing, we're done. That looks pretty sharp, doesn't it? I just like white so much. Yeah, I'm using a whole lot less of this. I think this is the third car that I've done. This is the third car I've done with this bottle without refilling the bottle of drying aid. It's still going. Gosh, these nibs are driving me crazy. I don't know if I can last. I can't explain to you how much better this car looks in person with these better sized tires. I mean, I know why they do it. They stretch the tires for maximum range. Who freaking cares about that? I'm in for maximum performance. And it looks to me that 245 is probably the way to go. I mean, 255 would probably look a little better, but I doubt the advantages. I mean, I guess it would be probably still handle better. Yeah, you can already tell this is not going to go very well. So you really want to either mineral spirits, or my preference is to use stoners. Ah, dang it. You want to use stoners and really prep the tires, because this dressing is going to last a day or two and it's not going to do well. It's not going to look super good, but better than having all the goop all over it that I had on it before. So we're gonna GoPro up here, and I'm gonna drive this car this week. I really want to work on I want to go mountain biking myself. I haven't been able to do that in a year, because I'm kind of confined to now it's kind of like it's a 3-mile radius. But I feel like I'm ready to go. I'd love to go. I want to go to like a Cars and Coffee and go like different places. I've been stuck. I start panicking. But I'm doing it differently this time. In the past, I just white knuckle it and power through it. This time I'm taking baby steps every week to work on a new little thing. Like this last weekend I drove to Publix, which is a big step. It's hard to explain. It's impossible to explain, because it's freaking ridiculous. Oh yeah, I got this wheel pretty good. This is the first wheel I did, and there's a little chunk. So what do you think? Should we unload the Model 3? Plan to do a giveaway on the E46, and get me an NSX. I know you're going to say yes to the giveaway on the E46. Anyway, I'll see you on I'll probably do the drive before I do the wash, because the wash will take a lot longer to upload. So I'll probably do a quick driving video, update you my thoughts on the Model 3. And anyway, thanks for watching. Only 47 minutes of ranting today, not too bad. So thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. See you on the next one. Make sure to go subscribe, OG Shorts, and you probably want to go become members of Inside the Hex. If you're watching these videos, you're going to love Inside the Hex. It's freaking awesome. Go pay the freaking $50, $60 and join it. See you soon.